When her husband left her mother, Ekaterina's life changed drastically. She was left alone with 2 children and a multitude of unresolved questions. For her daughter, Anastasia, this became a true test. Despite being only 17 years old, she decided to take on the responsibility of caring for her mother. In the first few months after her father's departure, Anastasia didn't give up. She became a pillar of support and emotional strength for her mother. Every day she prepared breakfast, cleaned the house, and helped her mother get dressed. She tried to create an atmosphere of positivity and joy to help her mother through the difficult period. But it wasn't easy. Ekaterina often retreated into deep thoughts, and Anastasia had to make an effort to bring her back to reality. Sometimes she simply sat beside her mother, holding her hand without saying a word. Her presence bestowed incredible strength and warmth upon her mother. Over time, Anastasia began seeking ways to entertain her mother. They went to movies, concerts, and parks together. She even organized small home parties with friends to uplift Ekaterina's spirits. All of this required time and effort, but the daughter was willing to do anything for her mother. Soon, Anastasia noticed that her mother was becoming interested in painting. She bought canvases, paints, and brushes for her, and they started painting together. This became a way for Ekaterina to express her emotions and a new form of therapy. Anastasia supported her, inspired her, and even learned to paint alongside her. With time, Ekaterina began to feel that her life was gaining purpose again. Thanks to her daughter, she realized that despite the hardships, life goes on. She became actively involved in her children's lives, helped Anastasia with her studies, and supported her interests. Gradually, their relationship evolved beyond just mother-daughter. They became friends. They shared their thoughts, joys, and sorrows. Anastasia became a true stronghold for her mother, and Ekaterina felt that she could tackle life's challenges with her daughter's support. As the years passed, Ekaterina started showing interest in making new connections and exploring opportunities. Anastasia was always there, providing support and guidance. She witnessed Ekaterina's rejuvenation as she became a strong and independent woman. Eventually, Anastasia graduated from school, entered university, and began building her own career. But she always remembered her commitment to support her mother. Even when distance separated them physically, they remained close in spirit. Ekaterina also became more independent and confident. She found a job that brought her joy and even started traveling, discovering new places and cultures. With each new step, she felt like she was rediscovering herself. In turn, Anastasia formed strong friendships and romantic relationships. She became an inspiring example for her mother, showing that life continues after painful fractures. Her optimism and determination infected everyone around her. One day, on Anastasia's birthday, Ekaterina gave her a beautiful card. Inside were words of sincere gratitude for all the support her daughter had provided during the most difficult times. It was a recognition of how much she valued Anastasia's sacrifices and care. The words in the card brought tears of joy to Anastasia's eyes. She always acted out of love and care, never expecting anything in return. However, those words from her mother became a precious gift, emphasizing the significance of her efforts. Anastasia and Ekaterina continued to support each other, embrace life's joys, and overcome challenges. Their story became a testament that even after fractures and pain, one can find the strength to once again enjoy life, cherish loved ones, and create vivid memories. After several years, when Anastasia had finished university and embarked on a successful career, and Ekaterina had found happiness in new hobbies and travels, an unexpected return occurred in their lives. The father and husband came back. The mother and daughter didn't expect such a step. At first, they were excited and had mixed feelings. However, they decided to give him a chance to explain his actions and attempt to mend their relationships. The meeting was emotional, but over time, all three of them started talking. The husband talked about how he realized his mistakes during his absence and found the strength to change. He apologized to Ekaterina and their daughter for his behavior and asked for a chance to start anew. This meeting was a difficult test for everyone. Ekaterina and Anastasia appreciated his sincerity but remained cautious. They continued to live their independent lives while the husband tried to prove his intentions. With time, he actively engaged in daily activities and even helped with household chores. He also supported Ekaterina and Anastasia in their interests and career achievements. This was a clear sign of his willingness to change and be a better husband and father. Anastasia, being a sensitive and caring daughter, tried to support both of her parents during this period. She wasn't ready to fully accept him back, but she saw that he was genuinely trying to rectify his mistakes. Over time, through the efforts of all three, their relationship began to mend. Ekaterina saw that the husband had truly changed and began to open her heart to him. She was willing to give him another chance. Slowly but surely, the family started to reunite. They managed to overcome all the difficulties and resentments of the past and eventually found understanding and respect for each other. They realized that love can be stronger even after fractures. One day, when Anastasia and Ekaterina were alone at home, they had a rare opportunity to openly discuss the husband and father who had returned to their lives. They decided not to delay the conversation and dedicate time to an honest discussion. "Mom, how do you feel about Dad?" Anastasia began the conversation, looking at her mother with curiosity. Ekaterina sighed and gazed into the distance thoughtfully. "You know, daughter, it's complicated. At some point, I thought I had found myself and started living a full life without him. But his changes, his sincere apologies, and his efforts to mend our relationship, it's something that touched me." Anastasia nodded, understanding her feelings. "I see him trying too. And it's not just in words, but also in his actions. But what do you think, should we fully trust him?" Her mother frowned, reaching for her cup of tea. "You know, Stacy, I want to give him a chance, but I'm also afraid. I'm afraid of losing again what I've worked hard to find. But I also understand that none of us is perfect, and everyone deserves a second chance." Anastasia placed her hand on her mother's hand. "You know, Mom, we can continue moving forward together as a family. But I'm also ready to support whatever decision you make, because your happiness is more important to me." Ekaterina smiled at her daughter and hugged her tightly. "Thank you, my dear. You have no idea how important your support and understanding are to me. Let's see how things unfold, but let's remember that we're stronger together." With these words, they continued their discussion, drawing conclusions and considering different scenarios. Both realized that they couldn't change the past, but they could shape a new future based on sincerity, trust, and mutual support. After a serious conversation between Anastasia and Ekaterina, they decided to take the next step and start building a new future together with the husband and father. They understood that they couldn't alter the past, but they could take control of their future. They began spending more time with the husband, discussing their plans, dreams, and expectations. The husband, in turn, continued to prove his sincere intentions, consistently supporting the family and assisting with all tasks. All three of them started pursuing shared hobbies. They cooked together, had picnics, taught each other new things. Once, the husband suggested they visit the city where they met and began their story. This journey became a symbol of a fresh start and a chance to heal old wounds. With each passing day, the relationship grew stronger. They learned to accept each other as they were and to see each other's strengths. All three were ready to face the future with optimism and faith, believing that even after painful fractures, happiness and harmony could be found. The mother and daughter continued to support each other and shared their thoughts on how they saw these changes. "Mom, I'm proud of you," Anastasia said one day. "You've shown that one can be a strong and independent woman despite all the difficulties. You've also given both of us a chance at happiness. Ekaterina smiled and hugged her daughter. Thank you, Nastia. But you've been my pillar of support as well. Your care and determination helped me stand on my feet and move forward. The family's happiness continued, but one day the husband, torn internally, decided to present an ultimatum. His decision shook the entire family and became a new challenge for Ekaterina and Anastasia. They gathered in the living room that evening, where the husband, with a serious expression, began the conversation. We've all put in tremendous effort to start anew, and I'm grateful for every chance you've given me. But I feel that fears and mistrust still linger between my wife and daughter. I don't want to stand in the way of your closeness, so I'm prepared to accept whatever decision you make. Anastasia's and Ekaterina's hearts froze. This ultimatum seemed unexpected and incredibly difficult to them. They exchanged glances, their eyes revealing the inner struggle they were enduring. Anastasia decided to speak, holding back her emotions. Dad, you know we value your efforts and changes. But we've also struggled to rebuild our family. Our fears haven't disappeared, and we don't have an answer to your question yet. The husband sighed, looking understanding. I get it. But living in uncertainty is hard for me too. I'm willing to wait, but I need to know whether we're moving forward or stopping. Ekaterina took his hand and said respectfully, we both love you, and both of our decisions will be challenging in their own way. But we need time to continue building faith and confidence. They spent several more hours together, discussing their feelings and expectations. In the end, the husband realized he had no choice but to support their decision. The following months were filled with deep contemplation and emotions. All three grappled with their feelings and doubts. But they kept striving to find their path to happiness. Over the years, the family went through much together, joys and sorrows, laughter and tears. Each family member continued to grow and change, supporting one another on this journey. Anastasia became a respected professional in her field, remaining a pillar of support for her mother and inspiring them through her example. Ekaterina found the courage to unleash her talents in painting and even organized her own exhibition. The husband, in turn, discovered his calling in volunteering and started supporting other families going through difficulties. The family still spent time together, traveling, sharing common hobbies, and simply enjoying each other's company. They realized that happiness wasn't a static state but an ongoing process that required mutual respect, tolerance, and a willingness to share both joy and sorrow. The family that once faced difficulties and fractures became an example of how genuine efforts and love can change everything. They found their own path to happiness, creating a new future based on acceptance, support, and hope. And so, their story became a lesson that even after the most challenging trials, a bright future can be found if each family member is willing to meet each other halfway and build relationships on understanding and love.